Hey guys, today we'll be pruning the jade plant, the crassula, ovata or ovata, whatever you want to pronounce it. I did a previous video just to show you guys what my two jade plants look like. I had mentioned that there's not enough movement in the trunk and branches, so I'm going to do some drastic pruning to try to get that. So don't cringe. This is fine. It'll be good for the plant, and with the cuttings, I can make new plants out of them. So I'll try to make the cuttings as big as possible, so I'll have mature plants. So here we go. So the tools I have is a very sharp knife and just this bypass cutter. So looking at this right away, I can tell this is a little long. I could cut it back to right about here. Could cut it back right about here and get rid of this branch and that branch. I think I'll come back to that because I'm not sure if I want to keep this branch or not. With this here, I think I do want to cut it all the way. I'm not sure if you can see. Let's just get rid of this leaf here so that you guys can see. But if you look right in here, there's two branches growing out of a scar that was previously cut. I don't like that, so I'm going to get rid of that right underneath. So I think I will just cut it right about here. And you don't want to get too close to, if you look here, each one of these lines are where the leaves and branches grow out of. It's the node, and this would be the inner node. So you want to cut in between the two nodes. It doesn't matter if you cut it, far away. Sometimes it'll dry off and fall. The section that you leave on there will fall off up to the node. So I think I'm going to cut it there. And I don't think about that. Yeah, I'll cut it there because I don't really like how that branch is growing out right there. I'm not feeling it, so I'm just going to take it off right here. There you are. So this will make a pretty decent smaller jade cutting. We'll just leave that there. Leave it out for a few days to a week, maybe more, just to let this callus over before you put it into the soil so it doesn't rot. You get rotting bacteria gets in here, anaerobic environment, and then it'll just start turning black and get all soft and mushy. So make sure you let that callus. So since I cut that there, I'm going to decide that I'm just going to get rid of all this, and I like to do two nodes. This one doesn't really have two nodes, but it's a really long node. As you can see here, this one has 1, 2, 3 nodes. So I'm going to take it right about there to make it even with that one. I'm just going to cut it right there. You can see this knife is pretty sharp, so it makes a pretty clean cut. That one could make a pretty nice cutting. I may cut it right here to make another small cutting out of this, because this is too close to the ground. So you just imagine be sitting like that. I'm not really a fan unless I plant it like that, which is a possibility. So we'll let the callus over, and we'll decide how we want to plant that. And then for this one, we got a couple things going here. I don't know if you can see it in the camera because I can't really see what's behind there. I need to get a better phone with a wider angle so I can be sitting behind and watching as I'm doing all this. But you can see this node is pretty long. So I could chop it off right here, or I can cut off both of these individually and keep this kind of like triangular It's kind of got two different nodes here that meet at a triangle. But I think I'm just gonna get rid of that because this node is pretty long. So we'll do that far away. There's a branch in the back, so I'm trying not to slip to cut that branch. Oh, it's heavy. So there, we got a pretty good size cutting there. Nice tree. You can see it's white, nice and healthy. So that will make a pretty nice plant. Now you can see there's already a branch in the back. I think it'll be okay. It's growing kind of straight out, but it's not awful. We'll see where that goes. I can always prune it later. And then now we just got to prune the one in the back. Again, as you can see, the node is not as long, but it's still pretty long, so I can probably do two, maybe one. Since it's in this inside, maybe I'll do two nodes. And we'll see what happens from there. Yeah, I'll do that. Because if I cut it down here, this one's kind of long for this other plant. So if I cut it here, we should be good. We've got ourselves another nice jade cutting here. So that's what I have right now. I know it looks pretty bad, but I'm sure it'll heal up nicely. We'll get some ramification here, new branches. Hoping to get at least 2, 3, maybe 4 branches coming out of here. Usually it's just 2, but you never know. I've also got a little bud growing on here. I'm going to let that grow a little bit. Then I'll cut it off later. That just helps kind of thicken up this bottom portion of the trunk. And also when you prune it this drastically, you've basically taken all of the leaves off of it. This is like 99.9% of the leaves. The leaves evaporate the water, so now that you don't have as many leaves on there, it's not going to need as much water. So you're going to want to reduce the amount of water that you're giving the plant. It's not going to need that much. There's not that much evaporation going on. You can use a sealant for these cuts. I usually don't. I think they do fine. There's been studies that has shown that by using that, it actually prevents the plant from healing properly. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to let air dry, and I think it should be fine. So keep an eye out. I'll make a updated video when this plant starts growing new branches, and then you guys can see what it looks like.